Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Malin Havefjell, and in this series, and we have come to the last part, we are going through the brochure from the tax agency here in Sweden that's called Bokföring, Bokslut och Deklaration, SKV 282. And now we have come to the part where it's time to do the final touches of our simplified annual report. And instead of looking how they have done it here in the brochure, you doing it manually, I have taken you through the free e-service that the tax agency have on their website, because I think it's much easier to do it if you do it electronically. And it's also easier for you when it's time to file your income tax return, because if you have signed in to the tax agency's website and done the simplified annual report there, you can just, when it's time for your income tax return, just click a little fetch button there in the income tax return, and then you have all the information that you need to do your income tax return. In the previous videos, we have been walking through the first steps of this simplified annual report, and now we have come to the profit and loss report part in this e-service. So where are we now? Well, if we look in to the left, we have that list, all the steps. So the first ones we already have done, that is connected to the balance report. And now we have come to the profit and loss report, resultaträkning. And the first thing that we need to add is the information about our income. And it says försäljning och utfört arbete samt övriga intäkter. Well, money that you have received, the things that you have sold, your income. And in Berit's case, she has received 8,400 Swedish kronor when she will file this, do this simplified annual report. And we also see the 2,800 there, and that is for invoices that she sent out but wasn't paid at the end of the year. So we also need to add those income here. And then we come to the next part, and that is if you have, if your company owns the car that you are using, for example, and you use that for yourself for private use, you need to pay a car benefit for that one. And how you calculate the value of your car benefit, then you can use another e-service at the tax agency's website. And I will not go through that e-service now, but I will make another video how to use that one. So when you look at this video, see if it's already there, or maybe you need to wait a little bit until that is published. But there is a free e-service where you see, okay, what is the value of the car that I have used? And you only add a car benefit here if your company owns the car and you use the car for private uses. Then you add that benefit here. And you also add information if you have had any other benefits that you should be taxed for from your company. In Berit's case, there is none, so we have nothing to declare there. The next part is if you have had any interests paid to you, that if you have lent out money, for example, for your company's money, and then you have received interest for that one. It's not so common, I think, when you are a sole trader, but if you have done that, you add that information here, that income. In Berit's case, nothing. And then we come to the next step, and that will be the costs in your company, all the things that you have purchased to be able to run your company, more or less. And I have a lot of other videos where I talk about deductible costs, so also check those out. And I also have an online course where we only talk about costs that are deductible and non-deductible here in Sweden. So what we do now is that we check our profit and loss report and see from our bookkeeping, okay, what is the value of the things that I have purchased? And the top one here is usually booked in an account that starts with number 4. That is a cost that has a direct connection with your income. In Berit's case, that will be the fabrics, for example, that she has purchased to be able to sell the things that she's selling. And then we scroll down and we come to the next part. And here, I guess you will have the most things in your booking, especially if you're selling a service, then you usually have all your costs that you add here in the section that's called R6. In Berit's case, there is not so many things that she has added here as a cost. So you just check your bookkeeping, and usually you find those costs in the section, in the accounts that starts with 5 and 6 in your bookkeeping, so you can see there. And in R7, you add the information for if you have had any employees during the year. And if you are a sole trader and the only one that are, since you are a sole trader and maybe you don't have any other persons working for you, then you should not have any numbers here. So if you had that here in your bookkeeping, maybe you have booked it in a wrongly account, because this is mainly just for your employees. There are some accounts that start with number 7 in your bookkeeping that it has no connection with your employees, but in general, if you haven't had any employees, there should be no information here. And then, and that was for R7. I was just scrolling down, and then we click on the next Nesta to come on to the next part, and that is if you had taken any loans and you pay some interest. So here you add the interest fees in that case, and in Berit's case, there was none. So we click on next, and now we have done our simplified annual report, and it's time to just make sure that everything is as it should. So we just make an overview. We see the draft of our simplified annual report. In the top part, we see company information, and then we come to the balance report, and we make sure that, everything looks as it should. We recognize numbers from our bookkeeping, and then we come to those extra information notes if there is anything to add there, and also the profit and loss report. And we can see that in Berit's case, she has a profit of 5,630 Swedish kronor. And when everything looks as it should and you are happy with it, you go back to the top and you click on this Skriv ut mitt förenklade årsbokslut. Here is where you can print the simplified annual report. You can save it as a PDF file, and that is one of your financial reports that you need to save for at least 7 years. So make sure you print that on paper or save it as a PDF file and save it on a safe place for at least 7 years. And here we can also see how this look if we would look in the brochure, and they also have this, and we can so this is like the overview of the simplified annual report, and when it's time to do your income tax return, you will recognize all the boxes and how this look, because it is more or less exactly the same thing you will add in your income tax return later on to the tax agency. So everything done? Happy? If you still feel a little insecure about this and you need some help, then you can, of course, contact me. You can book a meeting, and you do that going to my website, www.havefjall.se/kalender, spelled in Swedish, and there you can book a meeting. And then you can share your screen, and I can hold your hand, guide you through the e-service while you do all the different steps. So you can learn how to do it, and maybe next year you feel comfortable enough to do it yourself. Or if you feel, I like to have Malin beside me when I do this, then of course you can do that every year if you want to. So what you need to do is to make closure of your bookkeeping, and then you do the simplified annual report. And when that is done, you have everything prepared for your income tax return. So that is the next thing. So you don't need to file the real annual report to someone. That is something that you save, but part of that annual report will be in your income tax return. So everything for your income tax return will be so much easier if you have done your bookkeeping and you have done your simplified annual report, and then the income tax return will be really easy for you to file. I wish you good luck, and also remember to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything else and anything about the car benefit, for example, if you want to look at that one, or anything else that's interesting, and also see my other videos about how you file your income tax return when that is time for that. Have a nice day and wish you good luck. Bye bye.